Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you to the final lesson of the Qaida. We started this series just simply learning the alphabet. We will end this series by going over some pages of the Qur'an. So I'm not going to take up too much time. You all know the gist of it. You all know the rules that you need to implement by this point. We are going to start with the first chapter or the first surah of the Qur'an. This chapter is called Surat Al-Fatiha. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. So given that this is the first page of the Quran, there are actually no tajweed rules that I need to color code at all. So we are just going to go ahead and jump straight into it. Keep in mind everything we've learned. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Here we go. Bismillahi. This ha then connects to ra. Mani. This noon then connects to this ra. Nir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب. So I actually stopped there because I ran short of breath. If you need to stop in the middle of the verse, you need to put an imaginary sukoon. You need to go back one word and continue. So I stopped at that ba. So I'm actually going to go back now and I'm going to start from right here. Let's start from that point over there. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. So that was Surah Al-Fatiha. You'll notice that the script and the way that it's written is very different than what we encountered in the rest of the book beforehand. So while I'm on the topic, there are many different styles of writing for the Quran. This is the most popular version. There is another version out there that you may find from time to time. I'm going to go ahead and finish the next page first, and then I will show you an example of what the other script looks like. So here is the last page of all of it. As you can see, there are 3 different chapters, 3 small little chapters or surahs. Let's go through them one by one. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to be reading this bit right here, up to this point right here. I'm going to go through and label the few tajweed rules in the surah. Okay, so this is called Surah Al-Ikhlas, and it is a surah of Qalqalahs. Okay, at the end of all these ayahs, you will have a Qalqalah sound. Let's do it. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. One little quick reminder, you see that tiny meme at the end of the surah there? The typical rule is you would read that tiny meme if it's in, anywhere in the verse except at the end. In this case, we will not be continuing onward, so there's no need to read it. Let us now move on to the next surah, Suratul Falaq, and I will mark all the tajweed rules right now. A quick side note about this style of writing. You'll notice that I have a lot of ikhfas on these noons, and none of these noons have a symbol on them. Now in this script, typically when the noon doesn't have anything on it, it automatically means you would have to do ikhfa. But again, please note that it is specific to this script. Once we're done with this, I will show you the alternative script that has it written down just a little bit differently. But for now, here we go. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. So I'm going to clear this page up. I do want to tell you, I just mentioned that noon, a blank noon without any symbol on it, usually symbolizes an ikhfa, but there is an exception to this script, and if I scroll back up just a little bit, we see an example of an exception right here. There is no ikhfa on that noon, and the reason is because right after it is a shadda. So imagine a noon with nothing on it to be a noon sakin. Remember, if there's a sukun and then after sukun there's shadda, you would drop the letter with the sukun. So even though the sukun's not there, we're going to have to imagine this blank noon to have that sukun. On we go to the final surah. I'm going to label the tajweed rules. Okay, so this is the final surah. This is called Surah Nas. And as you can see, this is a surah with many ghunnas. But let's go ahead and go through it. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. And that's it. Before I wrap up, I do want to show you a side-by-side comparison of some of the scripts of the Qur'an and how they look. So just bear with me. So I did have to shrink myself just a little bit to show you. But here on the screen now you see two different scripts of the exact same surah. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit onto this one just so you can get an idea. So you see it's the same thing, right? It's the exact same thing, ever so slightly different. Okay, again, it's just the handwriting. Some people prefer this version. I personally prefer this one. For whatever reason, just different tastes. I'm just used to one version or the other. But if you look at them closely and you try to read it, pause the screen, try to read it, you'll find it is the same, just slightly different. Now let me show you the last page. So this is the last page of these books. Basically, this version right here only shows us the last two surahs, right? This is all we care about. It's only showing us these last two surahs right here. So when I zoom in, you can just look at the bottom of this half of this page right here, and you can make a little comparison, and you'll take a look. One thing you notice is that this version right here has a whole lot of color on it, and those colors are actually tajweed rules. The way they color coded is different from the way I color coded mine throughout the series, which is perfectly fine. Not every book will be self-color coded. This one just happens to be. And another thing, remember what I pointed out, here's this wamin, right? Whereas in this version right here, you see the main difference is this version doesn't have a sukun on it. So there are these little gimmicks that you will have to get used to depending on which script you choose to read. Like I said, I prefer this one. This is the one I grew up with. To each his or her own. And now, that is it. You have completed this course in its entirety. If you want to do it justice, you'd go back, you review it over and over and over. If you don't know how to read the Quran still, that's okay. This course isn't meant that you go through it once and voila, you know it. Rather, you go through it again and again until you get the hang of it. If there's something I missed or a part that you don't get, let me know in the comments. Maybe I could make another video just addressing that question depending how serious it is. And if I did not do this course justice, please forgive me. May Allah forgive me for any shortcomings I may have had. And may He reward us for anything good that we got out of it. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for joining me through this journey as we learn how to read the Quran together. I learned a couple of things about this book myself that I didn't know before. If you found this series helpful, pass it on. Share it with your friends, share it with family. I have been tossed the idea that maybe I should continue doing this with the little chapters in the Quran. That way you can pick up a copy yourself and we could read it together. I guess that just depends on how many requests I get for that. But for the time being, this is me signing off. Jazakumullahu khair for joining me. Please keep me, my family, my teachers in your du'as. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.